Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Five Star Joshi Show here on the Fight Game Media Network, as well as the YouTube channel. I am your host, Scott Edwards. Whether you're joining me on the podcast version or the video version, I thank you for joining me. It's been a long week. It's been a very long week, but we are on the other side. We are here. We are doing a recording. We're today talking the conversion. We're talking Takumi Iroha versus Victoria Yuzuki. We're talking Sendai Girls. We're talking Marvelous. We're talking a little bit of everything. It is a great time to be talking Joshi. And I think for the first time in a long time, I have a major show to review that will come out with the podcast. We've been doing a lot of live reviews and stuff like that, or early reviews, but life got in the way. Life was an up and down journey this week, but like I said, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk the conversion, a show that obviously was super duper important. I will take my victory lap. I apologize to anyone that's a Syuri fan, but it will be coming later on in the show. We'll also be talking the Stardom Osaka show as well. That had a lot of news come out of it, which is what I've been asking for weeks. So I will celebrate the many news items from that show as well. But as always, you know the drill. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Comment what you loved about Joshi this week. Always great. You press like, helps us get a little bit more seen here on the channel. Sorry this week for not having an extra video. Some things came up, didn't make it happen. Next week, though, a very special video, a special kickoff to a new series that will be a monthly series on the YouTube channel. So definitely keep an eye out for that. What else do we got on the plan here? We'll talk about Marigold's past weekend, their upcoming week. Obviously, there's plenty there as well. So there's all that. But I'm not going to hold you long. We're going to get right into it, right into the conversion, right into Stardom. But before that, if you haven't seen it yet, I ask you all to go over to Fightful.com right now and check out my very cool, very special, exclusive interview with none other than Chi Chi. Her first English interview. It was a true honor to interview someone that I think is just one of the next big stars of pro wrestling, not just Joshi wrestling. I think Chi Chi has taken the world by storm since debuting a couple years ago, and she's only getting better and better and better. She's very open about her love for Barbie, Pro Wrestling Evolution, training with Sareee, her dream opponent, her love for Kelly Kelly, and so much more. You get to learn a lot about Chi Chi that maybe you didn't know before, her mindset, her wrestling style, and so much more. So please, if you haven't, go check it out over on Fightful.com. Whether you search Chi Chi's name or my name, it'll pop up. So don't you worry. Please go check that out. 3 weeks, 3 interviews that I'm very proud of. Let's keep it going. We're on a roll here, folks. But like I said, let's get right to Stardom. It's that simple. Stardom the Conversion 2025. As we know, as I said last week in the preview, something big was coming. Boy, oh boy, did I nail that one. But before we get there, we start off at the very top of the card. Yeah, Waka Tsukiyama and Yuri Hime had a match. I don't need to talk about that. What we do need to talk about, however, is the future of Stardom Championship match between Hina and Rian. I think this match accomplished literally everything you could have asked for. A strong defense for Hina, who continues to build her resume as she chases the likes of Hana and Rina and what they did within their reigns. I think she's on an incredible pace, truthfully, that by the end of it, I think she can surpass Hana as future Stardom champion. I don't know about Rina. I think Rina has set the bar so high that it's almost unreachable. But hey, she's giving it a go. I'll also say, I said this last week, the future of Stardom Championship is used for one thing only, and that is to establish. That is to allow these wrestlers to have a title match and build. And I said Rian was someone who needed this match to do just that. This is the best performance of her career, in my opinion. I thought Rian looked super in this match compared to the many other matches I've seen her in. This was a different wrestler. She felt the pressure and she stepped up. She's someone that I always been like, here it's neither here nor there. I don't know if she has the ceiling of certain rookies around the scene, but I do know that she has the baseline to be a very quality wrestler and someone that I think people are going to get behind more and more and more and more. So, very good defense here. One of the better ones of the future of Stardom title reign for Hina, a win for both of them, truthfully. And it looks like Akira Kuragane is going to be next for Hina, so that will be another conversation for another day because boy, oh boy, do I have my thoughts there. But a strong start to the show. From there on, the card kind of takes a backseat. It's a lot of undercard or just not such good matches. This was fine though. You had Aya Sakura, Yuna Mizumori, and Sayaka Kurara teaming up to face not Yuria Hime. That's the different show. Momokogo, Kikyo, Furusawa, and Emma Maishima. A fun, fine trios match. Nothing to write home about by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think anyone expected there to be something to write home about here. You're just getting a look at the rookies. You're also getting a win for the Cosmic Angels. So I have no problems with that whatsoever. Kind of just a match. And sometimes that's all you need. This match made me sad. BMI 2000 defeats FWC, essentially a number one contenders match for the Goddesses of Stardom titles. In many ways, the win pretty much was the next step for BMI 2000 to officially challenge for the belts, which we got this past Wednesday in Osaka. I don't want to continuously harp on this because I'm sure it's going to get annoying, but I have to until something changes. FWC is so directionless in this company. And now that we know they're not joining Mi Vida Loca, that is not in the plans whatsoever. Mi Vida Loca looks pretty set on where they're going. I don't know if there's any hope here when it comes to FWC in Stardom. When it comes to Hazuki in Stardom, Hazuki is one of my favorite wrestlers in the world, and has been since she's come back to wrestling. So to see her be in a secondary role stinks. It really does. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It stinks. And this loss for FWC was like so noticeably shocking in a way that Ruaka pulled Koguma up and then proceeded to still beat her. Like, there was no, dumb heel and they end up losing. No, she still just won. And listen, I like BMI 2000 as a tag team. I think them versus Wingori is going to be great. But FWC being in this state is not. And change needs to happen if it is Hazuki going out on the road, if it's FWC going out on the road. I'm all for it. I really am. Hazuki has already tweeted she wants FWC to face Team 200 kilograms. Give me that, please. Throw that on the Corkin. Throw that on a big show, any show in Sendai Girls. Please, 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 please. Hazuki versus Dash Chisako is one I just have circled for next month because I can't wait to see Hazuki in a big match. I'm going out of my way to watch Pro Wrestling Pro Wrestling Wave right now to watch Hazuki because she is in the Catch the Wave tournament. She's still Hazuki as far as I'm concerned. And she's having good performances there. Rina Makura and Nanami Hatano have been her first two matches. I've enjoyed both of them. I just want her to matter in the promotion that she signed to, and that's not looking great right now. The match itself, I don't think was all that good, which was a bummer because I thought when this was added to the undercard, maybe it could surprise some of us. Or maybe not surprise, but definitely outplay its expectations, and it didn't come close to doing that. Just a sad state of affairs when it comes to being a Hazuki or FWC fan, because this is what they are now. And until further notice, I can't expect much more. Next up, we had Hanako versus Risa Sera. I thought this was the worst match on the show. Um, I don't know. I used to love Risa Sera and Risa Sera big matches, but after the 5 Star Grand Prix last year, I definitely see a different level in her work, or maybe lacking level that she used to have. I don't really know the purpose of this match again outside of the Sera thing, and their duo together and stuff like that, and that's kind of what they played into after the match. But I don't expect Stardom fans to know or care about that story. So again, it makes the match all the more confusing to me. A lot of it was slow. It felt really long. It's not a bad match per se, but it's certainly not a good match. Certainly not a match I'm recommending by any stretch. It's just kind of there. And when I was watching this show, I said, "Okay, can we get this over with?" Like, I don't know what Hanako losing to Risa Sera does. Right, Hanako is obviously coming off the really, really strong challenge against Starlight Kid, and this didn't do her any favors. So that's my main complaint with this. I just don't think it accomplished anything. They sounded like, Risa Sera says, "Before I retire, I'd like to face you again, see how much you grow." Okay, sure. Um, that's fine, I guess. But yeah, I can't say I loved it. Can't say that. Better. It's whatever. Risa Sera won. Now we get into like the meat and potatoes of this show. Um, Ami Sorei's back. She is back. This was her official return match, joined by Kyoko Kotatsu, Rana Yagami, and Lady C against Saya Kamitani, Arena, Momo Watanabe, and Konami. Now listen, there are different ways to approach this match. The little fake heel turn in the middle, hilarious. Like, I legitimately laughed. I was like, I why? Why are we I know the miscommunications and stuff added up, but just to like throw the go ahead, hit her with the chair in the middle of the match, really funny. Um and I think this match told you a lot, actually. I think this match told you a lot about what they want to do with Ami Sohrei. And I'm gonna give Ami Sohrei a lot of credit. In her first 2 matches back, I think she's looked great. You've listened to this podcast. You know, if you've listened to this podcast for long enough, you know my feelings previously on Ami Sareee. I was not a big fan, but she looks determined. She looks like a star. The main event look is there. The new gear is incredible, and her work is really solid. She's put those layers a little bit more snug, things like that. And I thought for her first 2 matches this week, she looked solid. She looked solid, and it's very clear that Stardom is big believer in her. There's a reason she made it to the Cinderella final, right? There's a reason she made it to the semis the year before that. There's a reason she was tag champs with Mariah. They've always been pretty high on her. And now with the 5 Star Grand Prix coming around the corner, she's ultimately entered the conversation as a potential winner because of the story they were playing here. It ended up coming down to be between Saya Kamitani and Ami Sohrei before Saya Kamitani ultimately pinned her. And I had pitched last week and we had talked about this. I said maybe Ami wins, right? And maybe Ami in her return gets a match or something. That was not the case. And that's fine. I don't know if I would have had her pinned, but sure, whatever. Ultimately, she looked good in her return. Saya Kamitani Ami Sohrei is a direction they are very clearly going. I don't know if it should be for a major show. I don't know if the 5 Star Grand Prix winner is going to challenge at Queendom this year. There's a lot on the table, but one thing that's on the table is Ami Sohrei is back. She looks solid. The match itself wasn't bad. I thought the wrestling was pretty good for the most part. Like I said, most of the attention you're giving was to Ami Sohrei. But that was the direction they went. Saya Kamitani pins her, and then they have a face-off after the match, which I find pretty important. I find like the face off is kind of telling us, okay, now we have to prepare for where we're going. Will that matter? I don't know. We've seen face offs before. Listen, Starlight Kid and Tomoki Inaba teased a Wonder Star Championship match months ago. Didn't get it. Still haven't got it. Don't even know what we're doing with Tomoki Inaba. I think they're just here as um, extras and nothing more. That being said, again, I was looking for how did Ami look in her return. She looked very solid in her return, very strong in her return. Those are the victories at hand. We then had the big three matches on this show, all having super duper meaning for one reason or another. Starting with the Goddesses of Stardom Championship match, Gori defending against Natsu and Saory. I think I can make this very easy. Gori are probably going to take home tag team of the year, and I don't think it's going to be particularly close by the time we get to the end of the year, because they still have these titles. They're still printing out great matches. A lot of tag teams I feel like are hot and cold throughout the rest of wrestling, or they've disbanded, or they're not, any other team that I had in my top 5 for the most part aren't always competing. For example, my top 5 still includes Bubba Bubba Momo Banana. Like, that's the type of year it's been for tag team of the year. That's just the reality. But that is all to say that Gori is fantastic. Natsu and Saori is fantastic. Natsu and Saori, if they were to keep tagging, could make it interesting. But in the end, they came up short. And I should have realized it last week when I watched Saoriano pin Hanan in the final house show before this show. That's a giveaway. That is the new Stardom giveaway. They do the trading of the pins, and usually whoever gets the last laugh before the match is the one losing. And that was the case here. But we're not a show where we just talk about wins and losses. We talk about the matches itself. Saida is phenomenal. Saida deserves some sort of bigger opportunity. I don't want to see her lose the tag belts anytime soon, but I do want to see her challenge a Starlight Kid. I do want to see her challenge even a Saya Kamitani. I want to see Ida in bigger matches. 5-Star Grand Prix is the best time of her season because it's when she gets to show out in singles matches. I don't think Hanan stood out necessarily as much as I expected in this match, but her and Saori, always class. Always class. I talked about this last week. You're putting that combination together that had the fantastic Wonder of Stardom Championship match at All Star Grand Kingdom 2024. That was always a set piece. The other piece of this match, of course, was Natsupoi. Natsupoi's she feels back. She feels back as close to the high level that she was in 2023. I think that's kind of the important part of this is every time I watch Poi, especially in the lead up and post her anniversary show, she feels like she's building herself back up. She was my pick, obviously, to be that top baby face to rival Saya Kamitani. And boy, oh boy, I'm getting my way. But before that, she did take the pin here, though, which I don't know about you. It's maybe just a me thing. Personally, I'm not having the person that's going to challenge for the world title 3 days later take a pin in the title match. But again, they're both challenging. That's the funny part. Natsupoi and Saori look like they will be challenging for the top 2 belts of Sapporo World Rendezvous, if not earlier. So, again, it raises the question, what are we doing? We're having fantastic matches. I know that. That's what we're doing. But what else are we doing? What makes the most sense? What makes the most sense for these two who are about to prepare themselves? Winning? I don't know. Gori being champions and continuing as champions feels earned, feels deserved, and feels right. I'm not even saying time limit, but there is a difficulty. Maybe you win via roll up because Natsupoi did not lose via roll up. And I think that's my main point here. But forget all that. Let's get to the match itself. Like I said, the match was terrific. It was going to be hard for any match to top this. Now, one did, obviously, but I had said going into it, this match had all the makings to be one of, if not the best tag team matches of the year. I think it was absolutely was one of the best tag team matches of the year. I don't think it was the best, but certainly one of them. Both teams are great. If you haven't checked the match out, go out of your way to do it. The Goddesses of Stardom titles continue to be a gift that keep on giving this year. After the match, Yuna challenged Gori to a tag title match alongside Saki. That was happening at the Wednesday show, but I just wanted to hit that before we get to it. So something to look forward to there. And then we had the unit battle. The unit battle probably the second biggest talking point here on the show for me. As I promised, as I said last week, something major felt like it was going to happen on the show, right? They've set the stage for the conversion to be that, to be major, to be important. And I think we got it. Obviously. The match itself, before we get to the big surprise, the match itself was lackluster. You look at this roster, you look at these incredible wrestlers, you look at these wrestlers that are in this match, and you ask yourself, how? How can a match be lackluster like this? Well, the answer is the rules. The no DQ stipulation was for one thing and one thing only. Otherwise, it was a pretty useless stipulation. I feel like it took away rather than gave for a lot of this match. And that's a problem. You never want a part of this to be that. And I don't know. They set an expectation with the no DQ May Sera versus Suzuki match, right? There was an expectation there. Blood, sweat, tears, all that stuff goes really into that match and helps lift May Sera up. That just wasn't here. The no DQ aspect hurt it, if anything, and the wrestling just wasn't outstanding like you expect from Neo Genesis. But ultimately, the big reveal, the big surprise, ended up being none other than Bozilla. Bozilla making her move. She had left Margold back in March or April. She went to GCW. She went to Pro Wrestling Eve, and now she's back in Japan. This time under the Stardom banner. Obviously, a newsworthy item, nonetheless. Right? You're watching Bozilla technically be the first jump from Marigold to Stardom, if people want to compare it that way. For me, it was she was leaving. She already left. Things happen, and now she's back. And frankly, I do think this is the best spot for her. I don't know. I don't know if it would have made sense for her to go to a WWE or AEW yet. That's what I figured she was going to try to do, but she still can learn. She's still so young. She's still kind of green. Obviously, I've seen her have incredible matches with Sareee and Nanae Takahashi. But she's still green. And I do think that plays a part of it. Now, she's here. She's in Stardom. And she has aligned herself alongside Suzuki. So much of my conversation last week. Yes, so much of my conversation last week was Mi Vida Loca needs something. It needs a bump. It needs help. They got help. They got it in the form of Bozilla, and your faction has been made. The new full Mi Vida Loca is Itsuki Aoki, Rini Yamashita, Suzuki, Akira Kuragane, and Bozilla. Like I said, a good move. I think for really both sides, with whichever way you look at it. I think Bozilla's 1 year in Marigold accomplished really all she was going to do. Now she heads to Stardom to wrestle with new wrestlers, take on new challenges. That's what you want to see from a wrestler like for a wrestler like Bozilla, right? You want to see her now make the next steps with different teachings, different wrestlers. I have no problem with that whatsoever. And this faction finally starting to hopefully turn around. It didn't happen on the Osaka show. This ultimately the faction does feel a little bit cursed, but I like the idea of Suzu and Bozilla together. Most importantly, I think that's a fun tandem that's going to do a lot of good. A lot of good. Um, Potential tag team champion somewhere down the road. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, overall, the match wasn't all that special, and a match that I kind of expected to be special. But it was all to play to the surprise, which, by the way, the surprise happened, and then it kept going. So that was a unique part of it too. The match lasted another 5 minutes after she ran out. That was maybe my biggest problem, but it's fine. It's what it is. It's in the past. Welcome to Stardom, Bozilla. I'm fascinated to see how this run goes for her. So with that pass, we now go to the main event. Sareee, IWGP Women's Championship, one of the best matches of the year. And that's not really the shock here now, is it? I'm going to spend some time in the next 10 minutes talking about the greatness that is Sareee and what we are witnessing in real time. But first, let's give an appreciation of the match itself. This match was a fight. This match was a grueling fight. 32 minutes. One of the longest matches in Stardom history. One of the longest singles matches specifically. It was everything you want in an epic encounter. It's everything you want in an epic rematch of a 30-minute draw. These two filled the time with ease. These two filled the time and kept going, made it a grueling battle. The greatness of Syuri, the greatness of Sareee, and the ability to make this match work comes in their ability of being real. Every step felt like a struggle. Every step of the match felt like one trying to one up the other, one trying to stay ahead of the other. When greatness collides, that's what you get. You get a duel. Not no Neither side is going to dominate. Even at times when it felt like one or the other was, the other would come back. The struggles to get to the bottom rope and it looked like when they'd be out. The work that Sareee did on the legs of Syuri, the work that Syuri did on Sareee and trying to choke her out. And ultimately, when that doesn't work, and when you're running out of steam, you have to start throwing your biggest and baddest moves. You have to start throwing everything left that you have in your arsenal. And that's where they got to. These two started throwing everything left in the chamber. And the difficulty is that Sareee has proven time and time again over the past 2 years her engine never runs empty. She can keep going and going and going because that's the schedule she works, that's the training she works, and that is what played into this match. She is resilient, but she is also not ever going to slow down. That is the match. That is the matchscape. That is how this was shown. Like, Sareee wasn't ever, ever out of steam. She wasn't going to be denied winning this championship, and that was bad news for Syuri. When she hit the 3-year Inagi, Syuri survived, and it felt like Syuri might have been able to turn around. She hit some signature kicks, but ultimately, when you trap that arm, you get the arm hook and hit that last year Inagi, it's over. The way the crowd played to this match was incredible. The way the crowd played to Sareee as the outsider is exactly what you want from a match like this. It's the competitiveness to be great. There's no one in this pro wrestling world who wants to be greater than Sareee. I put her on the highest of levels for so many reasons. And it's not ever to be a shot at anyone else. Obviously, Mayu Iwatani is my GOAT for a reason. And I put these two in a league of their own for personal preference. But when I watch Sareee in the big match, it's different. When I watch Sareee in the big match, you just know greatness is upon you because that's what she does. Every time you see a graphic with Sareee, you think, oh, how great is this going to be? And so much of the past 2 years has been to get to this very moment. The first time against Mayu, she came up short. This time, she wasn't going to be denied. I kept saying it and I kept saying it. And listen, I am not going to argue against anyone who wanted Syuri to win. I'm not. There's no reason to, because I understand from your point of view, with Syuri especially, after the past year of doing nothing, she deserved a great reign. But that wasn't in the cards because this was Saree's destiny. Sareee winning this title in the match that I consider a top 10 match of the year, along with their 30-minute time limit draw. It was just incredible. It was a big championship feel, a big championship fight, and my happiness when she hit that final Uranagi and got the 3 count was everything. Her happiness was everything. You could see how much that meant to her, and you've seen it in the days since. Going to, tell Inoki and inform Inoki of what she's accomplished, right? Going to the site and speaking to the media and doubling down. She's not just here to be a champion. She is here to be a great champion. She wants to be a champion where you look at that belt, you think of Sareee. She wants to be a champion that, quite frankly, can carry that belt with greatness, carry that belt in a way that I feel like the previous champions may have not been allowed to. Kairi had it, Mercedes had it, Mayu had it for 700 plus days, and then, of course, Syuri had it. This belt has long deserved to be treated to the level that the champions have been. Kairi, Mercedes, Mayu, Syuri, Sareee. That is as good of a 5 of a lineage as you can have. It's the reason the belt stands at the level it already does. But I firmly believe if they let Sareee do what she has done for the past 2 years with this belt around her waist, it's only going to get elevated more. Don't wait months at a time for a defense. Let her tell her stories. Let her build her stories. She has demanded, I want to be in the 5-star Grand Prix because I want to prove I am the ace of women's pro wrestling. If she's not in the 5-star Grand Prix, we have to have conversations because there is no world that this woman should not be in that tournament because this woman makes everything around her better. You have created the conversations. You have made someone like Starlight Kid call her out. You have made others begin to be like, interesting. And you know why? Because Sareee demands that. Sareee questioned, why did no one challenge me after I stood there standing tall? I came into Stardom and I took your championship. Why is no one standing up to me? Why does no one want to face me? Fine, I will enter the 5-star Grand Prix. I will run through this roster and I will continue to be the top of the line wrestler in this industry. Saree's greatness goes far beyond just being a champion. It goes far beyond promotions. It goes far beyond so much else. Last year, her run in Marigold helped make that promotion better. This year, she is now going to help make Stardom better. It's what she does. She is here to reign as champion, come in and make the promotion better than when she entered. Listen, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Stardom's doing the best business ever, and so on and so forth. Yes, but she adds an interest level that I think it was lacking without the Tam Nakanos and Mayu Iwatanis of the world over the past 2 months. Her match was the centerpiece of the past month of this company, and she only wrestled in 2 matches prior. It's because of the way she tells her stories through media. It's the way she tells her stories through social media. It's how she does her job. She does her job better than anyone. There is only one Sareee, and we are witnessing it. We are witnessing an all-time run that now just takes its next step. She's so far from being anywhere close to done. This is just the next step. This was the destiny. Now that she has the belt, she wants to be a great champion. She wants to be a champion that you remember. She wants to be a champion that everyone remembers. The greatness of Sareee is on display in every match, is on display in every interview, is on display in everything she does. Putting the title on her makes all the sense in the world because she carries her career with her. She said it after Starlight Kid said Bozilla and Sareee were filling Stardom with orange to reference Marigold. Sareee didn't back down from that. She said, "Yeah, I carry my past with me and I carry it forward." You saw it in the match on her gear, as you could see here, the pink. That was in reference to her WWE days as Sareee. Everything she does has meaning. That is why she's the best in the world. That is why she is perfect to hold this championship. She is perfect to reign on top. And now there is no bigger match in Joshi wrestling right now with the wrestlers we have at our disposal than Sareee versus Saya Kamitani. You have Sareee enter that 5-star Grand Prix, and a conversation should be had as to who should win it. There is no bigger match. Double title match, Sareee versus Saya Kamitani. I'm watching Marigold do it with the GHC and Marigold world title with Takumi and Utami. Sareee and Saya, the big one. You kick it off. You start to tease it right at the Sareeism event. It's perfect. It's perfect. Everything in Stardom should revolve around Sareee and Saya Kamitani until they come head to head. That is my belief. That is why I think she's the best in the world. That's why this match was so phenomenal. It's one of the best matches of the year. Go out of your way to see it. It's what she does. It's what Syuri does. And I want to say, on the flip side of this, while I can sing the praises of Sareee every single day, and I pretty much already do, I need to give credit to Syuri. Syuri has been one of the best in the world for years now. She solidified her status as a wrestling legend, a wrestling all-timer in my books with her red belt run. Since that red belt run, she's done very little, except every time she's gotten the opportunity, she's had arguably the match of the year. The Mayu Iwatani match on January 4th, 2024, one of the best matches of the year. Fast forward to this year, Mayu Iwatani Syuri again for the IWGP Women's Championship, where she wins, one of the best matches of the year. And now against Sareee twice in this same year, two of the best matches of the year. Syuri has never, ever taken a step back in terms of her overall performances. She's never taken a step back in her abilities. Syuri is still, if not better than she was, because that's the scary reality. You have to point to one place only if you want Syuri to continue to be great and maybe, just maybe, come back around and take this title back. You have to point that to Stardom. You have to point that to the bookers. She was not doing anything last year. We know this. And ultimately, she became champion. Why? Because someone needed to take the belt off of Mayu Iwatani that belonged to Stardom. That is the reality. That is the reality that kicked in. But hey, that's why Syuri's great. That's why Saree's so great. They made something out of that. They made it more than just a transitional champion. Now, follow through on it. Don't let this just be it for Syuri and she just accepts it and moves on. She needs to build her way back. Have them face in the 5-star Grand Prix. Go to a 15-minute draw. I don't care. Give me all of that. There are avenues to make this even more special. There are avenues for Syuri to remain important. And on the way there, her and Saya Kamitani makes all the sense in the world as well. All I ask is with this title reign over, Syuri matters. I don't need to be back to where I was a year ago, where I was like, what is Syuri doing? What are we doing with Syuri? Why is she tagging for the belts for Konami? Oh, because Konami needs to turn heel again. No. And we're already teasing that with Amish Saory. Listen, I think we're already witnessing Amish Saory kind of take over the lead here for God's Eye as is, in terms of what Stardom sees. But this is still one of the best wrestlers on the planet. When she's at the top of her game and allowed to be at the top of her game, she joins that level that I have Mayu and Sareee on comfortably. Don't let that go to waste, please. I don't know what Syuri's next steps are, but I do know Saree's. Sareee wants to be in the 5-star Grand Prix. She should be in the 5-star Grand Prix. Sareee wants to reign as IWGP Women's Champion. She's going to reign as IWGP Women's Champion. Get to that next title match sometime in September at the latest. Because, listen, the 5-star goes through August. I get it. September at the latest, that first defense. We need it. I need it. Please, 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 please. But the greatness of Sareee is undeniable. The greatness of the best wrestler in the world and why she's so great. I put it all out there because it's just the truth. There's no one that does what she does. This is a freelancer at the end of the day. She is one. She has who she has, but she is one. She does not belong to a promotion. She just is there to make wrestling better, and that's what she does. She makes Stardom better. She made Marigold better. She makes Joshi better. And she's going to continue doing that as long as she reigns as champion, as long as she has the opportunity to reign as champion. So I'm so excited for what this IWGP Women's title reign looks like. Let her reign as long as humanly possible because she is on track to be special. And the fact is we are living in a time that you'll look back on this in years of remember that run by Sareee. It started in May 2023 and it's not stopping anytime soon. So appreciate it while you're witnessing it. Understandably be upset about Syuri if you are, but all hail to the Sun God, your new IWGP Women's Champion. Now, I did have complaints about the conversion, but I'm not going to say them now because they fixed them. My initial complaints were simple. Why are no one challenging for any belts? The only challenge I got was Tropica Wild challenging Gori for the championships. Well. If you told me someone came back from vacation, if we were going to try again, that is what we got here. Because boy, oh boy, they shut me up on Wednesday, and I am grateful for it because they put so many different directions in order, with championships being the centerpiece. My good golly, I will give you all the credit for that because that is all I ask for. All I want is title challenges and directions for your top champions. And that is what I got. So I'm going to celebrate and continue to celebrate the moves made by Stardom this week because this is what I've been asking for. I know who's challenging for the World of Stardom Championship. I think I know who's challenging for the Wonder, though. I think we have two options now. I know who's challenging for the Goddesses of Stardom Championship. I know who's challenging for the Future of Stardom Championship. I know who's challenging for the Artists of Stardom Championship. Now, could we bring up the high speed? Sure, we could, but I've accepted long ago that is not a belt that exists. So better left not saying anything than saying anything. Anyways, let's get to the match itself here. Starting, we head to Wednesday in Osaka. That the conversion review is over. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed me absolutely loving Sareee as champion. That's just what we do. It's only the beginning. So lock in, folks. But the show started off with Azumi, Mei Sera, and Starlight Kid defeating Natsupoi, Soriano, and Sayaka Carrara. Obviously, a lot going on here, but we got 2 challenges right off the rip. Kinda. So, Starlight Kid made it clear that she wants to face Soriano. I would assume that means for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. I don't think we're just going to run a special singles match between the champion and a potential challenger. That being said, crazy to think Soriano's kind of back into the Wonder picture. She's graduated from that as far as I'm concerned. Sue Suzuki felt like the obvious direction there. I still think she should be the obvious direction there. We'll see. But for now, that looks like the new direction. Maybe for a Korakuen and then Suzu for Sapporo. I wouldn't mind that. Get 2 defenses in before the 5-star. I definitely wouldn't hate that. Because I do think Suzu has a good chance of winning this belt whenever she challenges, but maybe they're trying to push it off to a bigger show. I don't know. But Soriano looks like it's going to happen. And then Konami, Rina, and Fukigen Death are going to challenge for the Artists of Stardom Championships against Starlight Kid, Azumi, and Miyu Amasaki. Konami, of course, pinned Miyu Amasaki last weekend to make this happen. I don't know why I need them challenging again, but that is the reality. Usually when a team challenges twice, they win. Fukigen Death, though, feels like a red herring type thing. Like, I don't think we're getting a title change there. But should be a good match. Listen, I'm all for more Rina title matches. Rina, I absolutely love, as you know. She's the best. She's my favorite Stardom wrestler. So I hope that's the case. I hope Rina and Konami and Fukigen Death crush it. Listen, we know that Neo Genesis trio is awesome. I still think they retain. We don't know when any of these matches are happening, but we know they're coming. I like the new Hate T-shirt, by the way. Obviously, they're celebrating their first anniversary next month. I really like the new T-shirt. That was a random thought I had watching the show. Next up, we had Hanako, Rian, Waka Tsukiyama defeat Emma Mishima, Kikyo Furusawa, and Yuri Hime, a nothing match. We also had Miyu Amasaki defeat Aya Sakura and Fukigen Death in 5 minutes and 5 seconds. The next match was the official in-ring debut of Bozilla, who, by the way, is planning to challenge Azumi for the New Japan Strong Women's title. Momo Watanabe also wanted that title. I don't know, but that is another title challenge, so I will show appreciation for that. That did happen on the conversion. But yeah, this match was Ami Sareee and Rani Yagami versus Bozilla and Akira Kuragane versus Rina and Konami. Suzuki had to be pulled off the show last second because I forget the matter at hand. Nope, that's New Blood. The reasoning was I cannot find it for the life of me. I don't want to get it wrong. I don't remember, but it was a continuation of poor Suzu obviously having some ups and downs due to family reasons. So that is the reason Suzu had to miss the show kind of last second. Obviously a shocker. But Bozilla was still debuting with Akira Kuragane, and they lost. They lost. I don't know about that one. Listen, and you can come at me all you want, be like, oh, she didn't get pinched. She looked dominant. I still think winning should matter in her first match. I know Akira Kuragane doesn't win, but like that's kind of a problem for a new faction that should be trying to win. Rani Yagami was right there. Okay, there was someone to pin in this match. That's the thing. Bozilla could have pinned Rana. Kira could have won easy, but instead they lost, and I'm left a little confused. Maybe they were going to win if Suzu was in the trios match originally, which would have been cool, but I don't know. If that was the case, just still have them win because you're trying to make Bozilla now look like an absolute monster to the Stardom fans. And she did, but they lost. Winning matters. That was my main critique here. I was just like, why is she losing? Ami Sareee won. Ami Sareee looked good again in this match. I want to give her credit. She did. She did. Ami Sareee. I said we're starting fresh, right? In this return. She looked good again. But yeah, I would have had Bozilla win. Bozilla's big debut last year was a big win teaming with Sareee, obviously against Julia and Utami. And that was very different. She was unknown at that time. But still, make her a dominant force. Have her win matches, pile up wins. Even when Suzu's not there, make me Vita Loca feel unbeatable no matter who she's teaming with. That's my one complaint. I thought she looked like a monster like they wanted, and that's all cool. Fascinating to see her compete with Stardom wrestlers. It's like it's something to get used to. But yeah, I don't know. I just would have had her win. Just an idea. But it's fine. It's a house show. Not a lot of people watch the house shows anymore, so probably doesn't matter. Anyways, we move on to the semi-main event, which was Syuri, Saki Kashima, Lady C, Toki Inaba, and Kyoka Kotatsu losing to Hate, Saya Kamitani, Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, Azusa Naba, and Ruaka. Fine match. Nothing to write home about here. Saya Kamitani pinned Tomoki Inaba. I mean, we could pick other people to pin. Why? I want Tomoki Inaba to get a title match soon, and I'm not getting it. I don't know why. I don't know why we teased the Starlight Kid one. I just want her to be important. They could have pinned Lady C, Saki, or Kyoka Kotatsu. Kotatsu's barely ever there to begin with. I mean, she's kind of on the cards now, which is great to see, by the way. But I don't know why do we have to pin Naba? But Saya Kamitani stays strong, so stay that ends in Y. Good for her. And your main event for the Goddesses of Stardom Championships once again. Gori defending against Yuna Mizumori and Saki. I think it's the first time we've ever had two title defense reviews on the same show. Maybe not ever, but pretty damn close. But yeah, this match was really good. It's almost like when you give Yuna Mizumori an opportunity, she's going to shine. Because that's what she does. Because she's awesome. She really is. Her and Saida just kind of took over this match, and I just sat back and was like, this is real business. This is the real shit. This is what it's all about. This match was so good. Saki was good in her few spots. I'm not a massive Saki fan or anything, but she was good in her spots with Hanan. But they let Yuna and Ida crush each other, and that's awesome. Chops, lariats, chops. Just magic, man. These two teams are great. Gori, shit, man. Like, this is a tag team of the year runaway choice right now. That's what it's becoming. Because all my other choices either don't tag a lot or don't tag anymore. So, like I said, Gori's awesome. The back and forth she pinned Yuno, hitting her version of the Muscle Buster driver. Just awesome match. Like Saida, I'm going to keep saying it every single big match she has. Let's give her a wonder match, please. Her and Starlight Kid would be one of the best matches of the year. I truly believe it. Yeah. So it was great. It was really, really good. Go out of your way to watch this. They had two top tier tag defenses in 1 week because they're that great of a team. Tropical Wild was cool. I have no problem if they keep running it back with these two. If that's going to be Yuna's partner. But yeah, really, really good. Fuck, Gori's so good. But after the match, BMI 2000 made it official. They will be the next challengers. Man, the hate shirt's sick. They will be the next challengers for the championships as expected. So I always love the Hana and Ruaka connection. I always am a sucker for that when they face off. I think they might win. Freeing up Hanan right before the 5-star Grand Prix is not something I have mistaken or overlooked. Trust me. It is something I'm very focused on and very much believing is in the cards very, very soon. Oh, I meant to say the lineup for the 5-star Grand Prix will be announced on July 5th. So when that comes around, we'll talk about it. That is when is July 5th? That is next Saturday. Oh, press conference on Saturday. All right, sure. So looking forward to that. And then, of course, the big challenge. The challenge I've been waiting for. I made videos about this. Who should be the top baby face for Stardom? Who makes sense? Natsupoi is here and she's ready to finally challenge for the World of Stardom Championship. Not only for herself, but of course for Tam Nakano, for the Cosmic Angels. She is ready to take the belt from Saya Kamitani. I cannot stress to you how excited I am about this. There is a reason I have been pleading for Saya Kamitani to get a challenger. One, because I really have enjoyed Saya Kamitani's title reign. Her matches have been great. But two, I had hope it would be Poi. Now listen, if you want Natsupoi to win the 5-star Grand Prix like I do, this is a tough pill to swallow at the moment. However, it's an incredible match. It's a simple match. I've seen what these two can do in a big title match, and it's have one of the best matches of the year. Check it out, 2022 if you haven't. Cinderella Journey, unreal match. Natsupoi is such a fantastic wrestler, such a fantastic storyteller. This is it. When I saw her grab that title, I was like, finally, this will be the first time Natsupoi ever challenges for the World of Stardom Championship. Now, do I have numerous complaints of like, oh, maybe we don't pin her days before. Maybe she wins early in the night. Sure, but honestly, I don't give a shit right now. I'm just happy she's challenging. I'm happy that she is presenting this story for herself of I'm going to be the ace of Stardom. I'm going to take over that role that has emptied with Tam Nakano gone, with Mayu Iwatani gone. That is my role to take. I want to be the ace. That fires me up because Natsupoi has all the ability to be just that. Their championship match, I'm sure, is going to happen at Sapporo Rendezvous in July. Just circle it, big circle. I'm very excited for their preview match with Saya Kamitani, Natsupoi. This is all I've been asking for. Someone wants the championship. Someone's ready to challenge for the championship. I can't wait. Can't wait. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Natsupoi and Saya Kamitani, it's just magic. Just magic, guys. Oh, it's nice to be excited about Stardom. It really is. This is all I was waiting for, you know? It's all I was waiting for. But this weekend, we will get our first look at the preview matches for all of these title matches. There's a preview match of some sort on every card. So on Friday in Kochi, so by the time you're listening to this, the show has already happened, but it's video on demand, so you wouldn't be able to see it anyways. But here are your preview matches. You have Hanan Saida and Momo Kogo versus Natsuko Tora, Uwaka, and Azusa Naba. Saki Kashima takes on Azumi and Emma Maishima in three-way action. Starlight Kid, Mei, Sera, and Miyu Amasaki take on Seriano, Yuri Hime, and Kyokyo Furusawa. Wakasukiyama, Hanako, and Rian face Amish, Sohrei, Tomoki Naba, and Rana Yagami. Syuri and Lady C go head-to-head with Bozilla and Akira Kuragane, so I'm fascinated to see what Bozilla versus Syuri looks like. Based on Bozilla's best matches, Syuri kind of is right up the alley of possibly being her best opponent here in Stardom. And then your main event, Natsupoi, Yuna Mizumori, Aya Sakura, and Sayaka Kurara take on Saya Kamitani, Momo Watanabe, Konami, and Rina. So the preview matches are on for the World of Stardom Championship. Let's go. This is some really good preview matches here, though, over the weekend. On Saturday in Matsue, you have Wakasukiyama, Rian versus Momokogo and Yurihime. So Momokogo and Hime get a warm-up ahead of their New Blood title match. Soriano, Yuna Mizumori, and Aya Sakura face Bozilla, Akira Kuragane, and Kikyo Furusawa. So there's a real chance Bozilla just loses all these matches. I'm realizing. Holy shit. Because Suzu's off. Hanako versus Sayaka Kurara versus Emma Maishima in three-way battle. Starlight Kid, Azumi, Miyu Amasaki, and Mei Sera take on Momo Watanabe, Konami, Rina, and Azusa Naba. So kind of a mini preview match. Hanan Saida and Natsupoi take on Saya Kamitani, Natsuko Tora, and Ruaka. So that is a full-on preview tag for both of those titles. And then in Saki Kashima's triumphal return match, her hometown, it'll be God's Eye versus God's Eye. The lottery will be decided before the match, but it will be contested with Saki Kashima, Syuri, Amisore, Hina, Lady C, Tomoki Naba, and Rana Yagami. And then in Okayama on Sunday, you have Hina and Raniagami versus Bozilla and Kira Kuragane. Ami Sohrei and Lady C versus Mei Sera and Emma Maishima. Hanan and Kikyo Furusawa versus Natsuko Tora and Ruaka. So that'll be a win for them. Syuri and Saki Kashima and Tomoki Inaba will face Yuna Mizumori, Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurara. Waka Tsukiyama, Hanako, and Rian face Saida, Momokogo, and Yorihime. So preview tag for the New Blood tag belt. And then your main event, a massive preview tag of sorts. Starlight Kid, Azumi, Miyu Amasaki, Natsupoi, and Seri Ano take on Saya Kamitani, Momo Watanabe, Konami, Rina, and Azusa Inaba. So those are all your matches for this upcoming weekend in Stardom. Next Friday will be New Blood. So we'll talk about that next week, of course. Then the 5-Star Grand Prix press conference will be on the Saturday. And then they'll have a show in Corkin Hall on the 6th. So plenty coming up here in the wonderful world of Stardom. But that is it for this week. A whole hour on Stardom. Who could have saw that coming? Oh, me, because we reviewed the conversion. Let's talk a little bit about Sendai Girls. I watched their entire show from the Sendai Pit this past week, and would you believe me if I said that this was good? There you go. Hope that helps. This was a good show. I mean, here's the thing with Sendai Girls for me. You just know you're going to watch a good show. That is the reality every time you turn one on. It is very rare I turn a Sendai Girls show on, I walk away like, oh, I wasted my time. No, this was not a waste of time. Miku Kane versus Yurika Oka, very solid match. Miku Kane rules. Yurika Oka rules. The trios match, Dash Osaka, Hiroyo Matsumoto, and Yura Suzuki versus Manami, Zones, and Ryo Mizunami. That was good too. We'll put a little more emphasis, however, on the top 3 matches. Aya Sakura successfully defending the junior title against Yuna. I thought this was pretty solid. I'm not as high on Yuna as some others are. I do think that she still has strides to make, but Aya Sakura rules. You know, I love Aya Sakura. I can sing her praises all the time, and to see her get to defend a belt was really, really fun, really enjoyable. And I thought she did a great job. She's a champion that I'm excited for. I would have loved, I think Miku Kane could challenge for this belt, and I would love if that were the case. Aya Sakura versus Miku Kane sounds freaking wonderful, honestly. That sounds like a great match. So please do that, but a good match there. Naoya Sayaka and Miki Iwata went to a 15-minute time limit draw. This was fine. I saw a lot of people love this. It's fine. I'm not a big Unagi fan. That's just the reality. I know. But this was one of her better matches. I'll give her that. And Iwata, I prefer in tag matches, but it was a fine singles match. Like, it was probably as good as I could expect from these two. Didn't need the full 15-minute draw, but I digress. My favorite match, however, was, of course, the main event. It was Takumi Iroha and Senka Akatsuki taking on Team 200 kilograms, getting the first ever Senka Hash minutes. Chef's kiss type shit right there. That was really good. Really, really good stuff. I mean, obviously Senka lost. That's not really a question any time, right? That's what they do. That's what she should be doing. She's young. She's new to the game still. But she was great with Hash. Takumi was good. You was good. It's just Team 200 kilograms. Like, what do you expect from me? It was a really good tag match in the main event of a Sendai Girls show. That is like the guarantees in life, is that being good, you know? So if you haven't, worth checking out the last 3, I'd say. I'd watch the whole show, though. It's quick, it's simple. Sendai Girls brings the heat every single time. This Friday. So by the time this podcast is up, you've probably already seen the result, but Sareee and Takumi Iroha defend the AAAW tag team titles at Marvelous Shinkiba First Ring against Senka Akatsuki and Sora Ayame. I mean, folks, do I need to get you more hyped than for this match? No, I don't. It'll be the first time we see the IWGP Women's Champion team with the GHC Women's Champion, which is a pretty cool fact as well. I'm super duper hyped for this. I mean, first of all, I sang the praises of Sareee earlier for a reason. You know my belief in her. You know how much I truly think she is the best in the world. You put Takumi in there, who's just an absolute monster, an absolute final boss type these days. And you have these two rookies that are super determined to shine. Senka Kasi, obviously fantastic. You know, for many, the talk of Joshi right now outside of Stardom is Senka Akatsuki. So that's a great thing, and she'll get to face Sareee and Takumi. Obviously, the Sareee debut match was hers, and you have Sorayame, who looks to make a statement for herself in a match like this, as she is obviously the one behind Sanka, but I do think Sora has a bright future ahead as well. This match is going to be great. It's going to be worth your time. I look forward to reviewing that next week um, because it's going to be fantastic. It's just what they do. Monday Magic. I was going to put this in the Marigold section, but it feels like good in the middle section. So on Monday Magic, it was Takumi Iroha, the Great Sakuya, and Sora Ayame versus Miyuki Takase, Miku Ano, and Megaton. I know, fascinating crew. And it was essentially, as I'm watching it, set up to get us prepared for a match. Now, the match ended in a DQ finish when the Great Sakuya misted the face of Takase right in front of the referee, but the work you saw was pretty good. Miku Ano and Takumi especially, I mean, come on. Excellent stuff. Pretty crazy to see Megaton on this show. But Takase challenged Sakuya to a tag match at Wrestle Magic this upcoming Monday, but the bigger match, of course, comes right after Takumi Iroha got on the microphone, talking about how she holds the GHC Women's title. She'd like to defend it ahead of her proposed title match with Utami Hayashishita at the likely Korakuen Hall show for Margold this upcoming month. And out walked Victoria Yuzuki. As confident as she ever is, as confident as she always is. She made her way down to the ring, went face to face with Takumi Iroha, and challenged her for the GHC Women's Championship. Couldn't be more excited for this. The moment the music hit, I said, oh my God. Yuzuki, big time match, the biggest match of her career to this point, outside the Mayu one. It's massive, and it's the continuation of Margold versus Marvelous as well. It's massive for her. She's going to step, obviously, into another company's ring. She's going to step into the Pure ring and go for the GHC Women's title. You could see it. Takumi said, I'm not really interested in you, but okay, we can do this. We can do this match. And Yuzuki said, you will be confident. Yeah, sure. But listen, I'm not a walkthrough. You're not going to walk through me on the way to Utami Hayashishita. That's not happening. It's just not. Victoria Yuzuki is like the perfect opponent for Takumi right now because she sells incredibly well. She keeps a high motor and she's not going to give up. And Takumi is going to dominate for a lot of the match. But listen, it's those hope spots. It's those believability spots that Victoria Yuzuki nails down and gets me super thrilled to see this match. The fact that I don't have to wait that long to see this match is even better. When that graphic popped up, boy, oh boy, was I looking forward to it. Takumi Iroha, Victoria Yuzuki, first GHC Women's Championship defense for Takumi. Big time show. Like the Wrestle Magic's a big show for Noah, big show for the Monday Magic brand. You get one a year, and this is the match. This is what I want to see from the young wrestlers. Listen, we talked about it with Carrara. We talked about it with Hanako and Stardom, right? I said, listen, I understand why they're doing it. They're trying to make stars. I have no problem with it. This is very different. This is like if this would be like if maybe Rina challenged for the IWGP Women's title. Holy shit, that should happen. To me, that is the way I see this, and I would be 100% sold on that happening because I think Rina can handle it, much like I think Victoria Yuzuki can handle this and absolutely deliver. It's a terrific matchup. It's a terrific decision because obviously Yuzuki's been Utami's partner for months. She is that has been the connection there, and now Takumi is going to destroy her in the middle of the ring on her way to the double title match in July. It's terrific booking. It's terrific for everyone. It's gonna be great. I truly, 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 truly cannot wait for this match. It's my most highly anticipated match of the next week in Joshi by far. It should be fantastic, and we keep building, building, building. But this is one you're gonna want to see. Trust me, this is one you're gonna want to see. Um, Yuzuki's going to crush it. Iroha's going to destroy her. It's going to be art. And I just hope that Yuzuki walks out of it better than she walked in because I think that's the potential this match has for someone of her caliber at her experience level. Sky's the limit. Speaking of Marigold, let's get into the weekend stuff before we get out of here. This won't be too long. They just had house show stuff, but we'll start off with some news. Not Takumi. Mayu Iwatani did reveal that over the weekend she broke a rib. Mayu Iwatani revealed that she did indeed break a rib in action. So that's obviously a bummer. But there's not been an announcement as of Thursday, right now that I'm recording this, that she will be out of action. So take that for what you will. It sounds like she's going to be good to go either way, despite the broken rib. My heart sank when I read it, but the fact that she seems to be ready and willing to go, we'll see how that goes. I would like if she took the time off and rested a little before the Dream Star, but hey, she's the one in control here. She's the boss. She knows what she's capable of. So that is that. But let's get to the house shows now. Here, we had Nao Ishikawa defeat Hummingbird and Yuka Yamazaki. Welcome back to Nao Ishikawa. Koki Amare defeated Nagisa Tachibana in singles action. Mai Sakurai and Miku Ano defeated Chikagoto and Megaton. In what was Mayu Iwatani's first loss, Chiaki and Misa Matsui defeated her and Komomo Manami when Komomo Manami got pinned. I really like Chiaki and Misa Matsui as a duo. I think they're continuously figuring things out. I think they're continuously putting things together to excite people. And I think they're a better duo, quite frankly, than Chiaki and Nagisa Nozaki because I think it does a lot more for Chiaki. Komomo Manami, listen, Fuka said she reminds her of a young Mayu. I see it. I believe it. She's very talented. She's getting better and better each match. I liked them teaming both days. I thought that was a good team up. And Mayu's Mayu. Mayu's fantastic. I can't say enough good things about Mayu that I already do. I'll say more in the next match. And then you had the main event. Listen, I have said this once. I'll say it a million more times. Marigold, trios, main events are one of the most consistent hit rates in all of wrestling. Tanahashi to Victoria Yuzuki Kazuna Tanaka defeating. They won, right? Yeah, defeating Mirai Reseto and Sareee Yamaoka. Not to continuously sing just the praises of Sareee Yamaoka and Victoria Yuzuki, but I thought they were dynamic in this match, especially against one another. Just fantastic. There's a real chemistry there that you just can't teach. There's a chemistry there that just gets better and better. The back and forth between these two when they were trading moves, I was about to leap out of my freaking chair. I think I did actually. They're just fantastic. You have Utami and Mirai matchup. You have Kazuna Tanaka and Ryoseto matchup. Everyone looked really solid in their match. This was the best match of the weekend, I thought, easily for Marigold. And then on Sunday in where were they? In Fukushima, it was another 5-match card. Opening had Chikagoto defeat Nagisa Tachibana and Naoshikawa. I thought that was a pretty fun 3-way, all things considered. Tachibana is getting better and better each week. We'll talk about her more here in the future. Trust me about that. Then we had a fun singles match between Mai Sakurai and Kazuna Tanaka. I don't think Kazuna Tanaka felt out of place by any means. I think she is getting better and better and better. It's why you talk about that Marigold core, why you talk about the big three that's become the big four. There's such a bright future, and she's a comfortable part of that. Doing so against the United National Champion, it stood out to me. It was a great performance. Then you had Chiaki and Misa Matsui defeating Hummingbird and Utami Hayashishita. Fine, nothing match, nothing to write home about necessarily. You had Syuri Yamaoka, Miku Ano face off with Koki Amare and Yuki Yamazaki. Yuki Yamazaki and Syuri Yamaoka facing off for the first time. A connection there. Obviously classmates, but also a real rivalry, buddy. Like I certainly think this is the beginning of something. Yuki Yamazaki's face when she didn't pin Yamaoka, she was shocked, she was pissed. There's just a level to Yamazaki where she just gets it, and you're seeing it very quickly from the Mad Dog. Sareee Yamaoka and Miku Ano, love them as a dynamic duo. If Mirai's going to team with Yamazaki, which we don't know for sure yet, but if that's the case, give me the passion. Give me the passion all over again. Listen, Miku Ano beating Nanae Takahashi in her final match. Sareee Yamaoka was her final tag team partner and her student. Give me these two as a duo. I'm sold. I need it. I think they're fantastic together. So please do that. This was a pretty fun match. And then your main event, Mayu Iwatani, Kamome Minami, and Victoria Yuzuki teaming up to defeat Megaton, Mirai, and Rhea Seto. Mayu Iwatani was so entertaining with Megaton in this match. She was getting a great laugh every time. They did some bits back and forth. She just couldn't stop laughing. And as a result, I also could not stop laughing. I thought this match was tons of fun. Megaton has found her role. Listen, she's not going to be the greatest wrestler. You're going to see her the first time. You're like, really? She's found her role. She's comedic. Crowd likes her. She's fun. Simple as that. Simple as that. She's harmless, and the roster loves her. So I have no problem with Megaton whatsoever. Rhea Seto, I thought, had 2 great days ahead of that gauntlet this upcoming weekend. So that's important because her and Kamome Minami, I feel like, are potentially competing for that final spot along with Naoya Ishikawa. I think Seika Akatsuki is kind of the one lock of the 2 spots, but those 3 feel like the favorites really to build up and try to get that spot. Victoria Yuzuki and Mayu's great, obviously. Yeah, just a really fun main event overall. Let's look ahead this upcoming weekend. They have a show only on Saturday this week, but it is an important one. But first off, it's a 3-way battle. Koki Amare versus Megaton versus Sareee Yamaoka. That is a fascinating match. I don't know. That is a match. That is a match. They kind of end up here because, of course, the gauntlet matches are official. There will be 2 4 women gauntlets. Each match will decide the spots in the Dream Star Grand Prix. These are not the official matches. We don't know until the day of, but your competitors are Kamome Minami, Rhea Seto, Naoya Ishikawa, Hummingbird, Yuki Yamazaki, Nagisa Tachibana, Yuki Minami, and of course, Marvel's Senka Akatsuki. Like I said, I think Senka Akatsuki is the lock of the 8, and from there, it's deciding who's the final member. I think Kamome Minami, I think Rhea Seto, and I think Naoya Ishikawa are your top options here. If Yuki Yamazaki got in, that'd be fucking awesome. Pardon my language, but that would be awesome. Shouts out to the Mad Dog. But I'm happy really with any of those 3 getting in. I don't think there's a problem with now Rhea Seto or Kamome Minami. If you want to build the future, you go with Rhea Seto or Kamomo. If you want to keep consistency in there with with Natsumi Shozuki out, I think Naoya Ishikawa is a great option as well. But I'm excited for those gauntlet matches. Those should be great. And all the wrestlers should be really hungry to get in. So I think they're gonna put it all on the line to hopefully claim that spot. And then this match looks great. It'll be Utami Hayashishita, Chika Goto, and Kazuna Tanaka taking on Miku Ano, Mai Sakurai, and Chan Yoda. This is a fun trios match. This is the trios match you kind of circle, and you're like, it's going to be great. Though the main event might be great too. You have Mayu, Iwatani, Victoria, Yuzuki, and Mirai teaming up. They'll take on Chiaki, Misa Matsui, and Nagisa Nozaki. So, Darkness Revolution has not lost since kicking out Megaton. They faced the toughest challenge yet, though. Mayu, Iwatani, Victoria, Yuzuki, and Mirai. That's as strong as it gets. Super pumped about this matchup. Super pumped about this show. It looks like a really good show for a 1-day weekend performance from Margold. It's going to be a really good one. A lot of news coming out of it. We'll talk about it all next week here on the podcast. But that is it, everyone, for the 5-Star Joshi Show this week. A nice hour and 20 minutes, an hour being on Star. Kind of expected with the conversion. But hey, I'm very excited about what's to come in the next number of weeks. We have so much to talk about, so much to debate. It's tournament season, baby. We're almost there. Expect previews for those. But before we get there, this upcoming week, hopefully a new series kicks off on the YouTube channel. The week after that, Beginner's Guide to Marigold officially being made for those who want to get in right before the Dreamstar Grand Prix. And then, of course, previews for the 5-Star and Dreamstar coming out. And we will be doing the daily reviews for each tournament again this year. So if you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@ScottyWrestling, you're fine, you're set. You will see those come out. But if you're not, if you listen to the podcast feed, you're going to want to subscribe, because that's where I'm going to talk about each show, each match of each tournament every single day. I don't know how quickly the uploads will be this year. My life's a little different than it was last year, but we will be putting them together and they will be on the YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. With that being said, thank you everyone for listening. As always, we'll be back. Plenty of big time stuff next week. We'll talk about the house shows from both companies. We'll talk about Victoria Yuzuki versus Takumi Iroha. We'll talk about Takumi Iroha and Sareee versus Senka Katsuki and Soriyame. And we'll be doing the big preview for both New Blood 23, Stardom Cork and Hall, and whatever else is going on in the world of Joshi. Thank you everyone for listening. And until next time, so long. See you later. Please check out my interview with Chi Chi over on Fightful.com. Bye-bye.